Tourism industry. It is the fulcrum of the economy of Europe. However, in the past 1 year, it suffered huge losses due to the ravaging Wuhan virus. And now, Europe is trying hard to revive its dwindling economy. As part of this process, it issued a Green Pass to invite people from non-European nations to travel to Europe. The Green Pass includes a list of eligible vaccines, taking which people can freely enter the continent. However, in a brazen display of its anti-India bias, European nations excluded Indian vaccines from the list. That was a big mistake. India soon showed its might and issued a warning to the EU that it will put its travelling citizens in mandatory quarantine if they touch down in India. And within a day of the stern warning, the EU nations surrendered before the Narendra Modi government. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national and socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Sanveer Malhotra, and in this video I will explain to you how within 24 hours of India's unsubtle threat to the EU nations were forced to surrender before the Modi government. Let's begin. Within 24 hours of showing its might and issuing a stern warning to the European Union that New Delhi will put its travelling citizens in mandatory quarantine if they touch down in India, the EU nations have surrendered before the Narendra Modi government. 8 EU states, Germany, Slovenia, Austria, Greece, Iceland, Ireland, Spain and Switzerland late on Wednesday included Covishield on their list of approved vaccines required to travel to the continent. Furthermore, Estonia became the first nation in Europe to recognize both Indian vaccines, Covaxin and Covishield. As reported by TFI, the EU had denied vaccine passports to those inoculated with Covishield, the Indian version of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine manufactured by the Serum Institute of India and homegrown Bharat Biotech's Covaxin. Miffed by the discriminatory behavior of the top European body, the Government of India categorically stated that it will not recognize the EU's digital COVID certificate until it recognizes Indian vaccines, Covishield and Covaxin in the certificate. A senior foreign ministry official was quoted as saying, "We have requested the EU member states to individually consider extending similar exemption to those persons who have taken COVID-19 vaccines in India, that is, Covishield and Covaxin, and accept the vaccination certificate issued through the COVAN portal." To revive its dwindling economy, Europe has started allowing people to travel to the continent with vaccine passports. The tourism industry forms the fulcrum of the economy of the region, and with the industry entirely shutting its shop last year, the EU couldn't afford another year without the billion-dollar industry, and thus the Green Pass was issued. In its earlier notification, the EU had allowed those inoculated with the Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca and Janssen vaccines used in countries like the United States, Canada and others to travel to the continent. However, it purposefully left out the Indian vaccines, which gradually snowballed into a controversy. While the xenophobia against the indigenously developed Covaxin persists, as the vaccine is yet to receive approval in American and European markets because regulators in those countries are protecting domestic players from foreign competition, the government for the time being has won a major diplomatic tussle by playing on the front foot. However, it shouldn't be long before Covaxin gets approval in all EU nations as well. Reported extensively by TFI, those casting aspersions over the efficacy of Covaxin were served a timely reminder earlier this week when data from the phase 3 trials of Covaxin showed that symptomatic COVID-19 cases can be brought down by 77.8% by the Indian vaccine. India's highest drug regulatory body, Central Drug Standard Control Organization's Subject Expert Committee or SEC, reviewed as well as accepted the late-stage trial data of Covaxin. Moreover, the USA's National Institute of Health also stamped its seal of approval on the vaccine, stating that people inoculated with Covaxin generated sufficient antibodies that effectively neutralized the Alpha and Delta variants of SARS-CoV-2, which is the virus strain causing COVID-19. Despite the roaring success of the vaccine, its relatively cheaper price, and easier logistical handling, the Western world is unwilling to allow its entry solely because big pharma companies and their lobbying groups are keeping the likes of the EU and its health bodies stuffed.